It is an illusion that though you can continue to do this work that you're doing, this life, this discipline, perhaps for the next 30, 40 years of your life, it does not guarantee to your children or your team members or to your community that you can uphold this level of actual service, of actual commitment. Why? Because you're not going to be here, right? We're basically drops in the ocean. And without an understanding of that, we'll never be able to carry our strength and perhaps our values to the next generation, to the community, to the future, to whatever it is that really does require us to think long term. Why does this matter to the average person? Well, to the average person it doesn't, but hopefully you're a leader. And these videos really are for leaders, catalysts in society, people that want to make a difference. I want to give the wisdom that I've accrued so far to you so that you can do your job better and society can be better for it. Why this matters is the real separator is not ambition, guys. People are ambitious. The real separator is daily, disciplined future sight, is your ability to step back on command and to actually go and think about what you are doing, your metacognition. The ability to step away from yourself on command is a leadership training essential. Why? Well, why? The rest of the people in the world are not taking the time to think about what they're doing, how that impacts everyone else around them. Maybe they'll do it for a week, maybe they'll do it on a smaller scale, but the leaders that actually make the difference are the ones that think at a larger scale. Years of time go by. How incremental 1% progress actually looks because they've done the experimentation. What you stand to lose if you do not take this into consideration. You can stand to lose becoming addicted to doing, producing, and being useful. One of probably the most satisfying things for men in society specifically to do, because I'm a man, I can say that. You stand to lose being trapped or recurring roadblocks that you don't even notice, right? Your ability to notice the things that are actually affecting you, you'll lose that if you can't step back. You build something that only works when someone personally is carrying it, right? Why do you think we're going into automation and AI in the future? Because humans die, because humans become emotionally attached to different things. We become variably useful in a certain task. If we don't understand that about ourselves, my friend, how in the world are we going to get to a point where the things carry on without us, like they do in nature, right? Your urgency fades. And hopefully of all of the things, you don't just become a leader figurehead, because mind you, I've been led by leader figureheads many times in my life, and it is a bit soul crushing. So I don't want you to be that person. Please, for God's sake, for the sake of everyone else that you serve, do not just be a figurehead. Take the time to take the time. When someone stands to gain by acting, if you act on this concept of being able to, on demand, step away and take a larger look at life, a larger look at the things that you're doing, you will be able to build systems that outlive your mood and your stamina. Hopefully that matters to you. And if it doesn't, probably in the wrong place. You see invisible forces early, before they become emergencies. Guys, if you don't believe in karma, if you don't believe in spirituality, if you don't believe to some degree that the things that you do for other people can sometimes come back to you, it's very, very important to realize you might be missing these invisible forces. You become exceptional for the people around you, which I think is the reason that we do this stuff. A lot of the reason that I'm a catalyst, that I identify as a leader, is because I want to be loved, you know? And love isn't just like, the song comes to mind, I beg your pardon, I didn't promise you a rose garden. Along with the sunshine, there needs to be rain sometimes. Love is not this like amazing thing all the time, all right? There's seasons to it. And you can build an ecosystem and not just an output. An ecosystem that can support you, that is the mesh for you. When you get bogged down, when things become difficult, that ecosystem will support you. Why not have an environment like that for the next 30, 40 years of your life, for the entirety of your life? Imagine how many dividends that produces. If you have a garden in any capacity, you'll realize how beautiful it is to see something new, miraculous, that you didn't even know, and it is something that you wanted there. Some things that I learned across my journey, I'll go over later, but you're probably thinking right now, I am a visionary, so I am already doing this. Vision without daily planning is self-story, not leadership. The real work is deadlines, steps, roles, and the people it takes to get there. So the real work. If you can, just go ahead and do what you can with the audio, and then I'll just set it on direct detect from now on. If I just work harder and stay focused longer, I will solve it. If you work harder and stay focused longer, you're not going to solve it. Why? Because it's not about the hard work, it's about the smart work. And the smart work only happens when you're willing to admit to yourself that you are not smart enough, that you need to spend the time to go and do the shit that you haven't done before. Correction, concentration creates value, but it plateaus. You must unlock. Concentration, dedicated concentration, only creates value, but it plateaus. It plateaus at the level that you can concentrate. You must unlock the zoom out muscle, or you will hit the same roadblocks forever. Planning, you might think to yourself, is a one-time strategy session. Yes, I hope by the way, this video is probably being released in January of 26. Hopefully you've taken some time to plan your year. If you haven't, go and check out my other videos. I am going to post a planning video for 2026. Hopefully it will help you at least think about the questions that you need to think about in order to hopefully have a useful, fun year for yourself. If you do not practice zooming out daily, guys, the muscle stays underdeveloped. And frankly, your leadership is going to be underdeveloped. The law of the lid from John Maxwell states that anything that you have a shortcoming in, and I'm paraphrasing, anything that you have a shortcoming in, people underneath you will notice that and not necessarily want to work with you. So if the person that works underneath you, if you're paying them or their leader or their manager or whatever, has a better propensity to step back and take a look at the bigger picture than you do, then they should be leading you. Food for thought. If I can sustain this pace, my team will do. Fair. I mean, if you're there, man, I don't know what to tell you. Don't watch these videos. You know? If you don't want to get better, don't watch these videos. Your personal exception does not transfer automatically. Dan Martell says 80% done for me is 100% awesome. Why? Because Dan Martell's 100% is pretty hardcore. So he knows that people can't necessarily hit those marks. He's wise enough to realize that. So he says, if you can do 80% of what I can do, great. Take the role, take the responsibility, take the time off my hands, and I will go and do other things, be more productive. Systems transfer. Not your soul, not your work, systems transfer. Even if you're in construction, even if you're building a building, if say you're like, in this next 10 years, I'm gonna build 5 buildings, 10 buildings. Even those buildings, the structure themselves, pretty good, but if they're not maintained, they'll fall apart, right? And you might be thinking at the scale of, well, fine, for the next 10 years, they're fine. What about the next 100 years? You're like, I don't care about the next 100 years. Go to the next channel. Average leaders really do not get much done. And this was a hard lesson for me to swallow, because a lot of my role models were kind of like average leaders growing up. Why was that? Because their vision was not large enough. Oftentimes, what happens is when we're young, and this is what happened to me specifically, when I was young, I would look around for opportunities to go and learn a lot. And it was very hard for me to differentiate what a really positive thing to be a part of was and what really isn't going to benefit me too much. And what that led to is I had to figure out who and what the hell is actually making this thing work, right? And then I realized over time it was just the people, right? The systems in these student organizations, in a lot of the companies even that you end up working in, aren't very strong. They're not very strong systems. They're not very sustainable systems. Many of them are very outdated. And to acknowledge that, and then to say, why is this system outdated? Why does this system not work? I hope will naturally lead you to the reality that it's because of the people that are in charge of it, right? Is their vision strong enough? Is their awareness strong enough? Do they even have the data to know that this thing is outdated? And if you do, why aren't you taking the time to tell them that it's outdated and see what their response is? That will determine the level of leader that you're working with. If they're like, and you know it's a major problem, you're like, okay, great, law of the lid, I'm probably smarter than the leader that I'm following. Then you got to make a decision. Is the pay worth it? Do I want to stick around for the pay? Sure. Is the way that my soul is going to change worth it? Is the stuff that I'm going to learn here worth me getting this pay? Meaning, you got to determine, do you know enough? And is this the place that you want to learn it or that you can learn it? And my strong suggestion is, if you get to the answer that that's a no, that this is not the place that I can learn it, this is not the place that will actually make me better, and you're in your 20s or even your 30s, go look for other opportunities that will make you better. There are better leaders out there. You do not have to settle for average. In fact, I strongly recommend you don't. So here are some actionable steps. Schedule one daily zoom out block that is non-negotiable. Treat it like a leadership training. It's not optional reflection. It's literally coming up with a deadline. It's literally setting a goal for yourself. You got to do that daily. It's literally zooming out and being like, what is the most important thing that I have to do? Constantly train this muscle. And mind you, I have not perfected it myself. It's something that I'm noticing is really, really valuable, which is why I'm giving it to you. You are able to step away. I promise you, you have 10 minutes. You have 15 minutes. If you don't believe you have this time, it's because you haven't stepped away enough. If you don't believe that you have the time to step away, it's because you haven't stepped away. I'm telling you, you have the time. Build your plan in visible units. You want a deadline. You want a due date. You want the small steps that are required. You want the people that's required. And you want the roles and the ownership that is required to make this thing a reality. Those are specific details. And if you don't hit those, then you're just kind of pandering, man. You're not, woman, them, you're not doing the thing. Protect concentrated work, but cap it with a required perspective shift. One of the most useful skills to have as a leader and as a producer in society is your ability to sit there for an extended period of time or stand there or whatever and do one task, be concentrated on one thing. Why? Because this whole ADHD anxiety revolution is convincing people that it's okay to say that I have ADHD and anxiety and that they'll keep you around. No, the smart leaders will see through your bullshit and they'll basically say, you're just being lazy. You can't concentrate on one thing for a long time because you are not disciplined. Get out of my system. I will get someone that can concentrate. Fine, if they're even autistic, I'll take them over you, right? So this whole, I can't concentrate for a long time, I need to do this, dude, you're not consistent. You got to be able to concentrate for 6+ hours, mind you. You have to be able to concentrate for 6+ hours if you want to get to at least above average. And that's not saying much because the classroom gets smaller and you still don't make that much more money. You got to get to 2 classrooms up in order to make a lot more money. Protect concentrated work, right? But cap it with required perspective shifts. Work in deep focus. Have chunks of time where you can stay focused in deep work. Then deliberately switch into a system builder mode. There are ebbs and flows in your energy. You should know this. I'm not saying every 2 hours shift. But if that is what's working for you now, make that happen instead of shifting and then completely being off base and going and looking at your phone or TikTok or something. At least do the higher level tasks. Try to think a little bit. The other thing that I'm going to add is that a lot of times those perhaps 30 minutes over the day is not going to be enough to look far enough out. So I would honestly suggest on a weekly basis to spend about an hour going maybe through ChatGPT or any of your favorite AI and really having a project file or something that is defining the next year, the next 5 years of your life so that you can be like, there's a specific thing that I want to take care of. I want to go and hire this specific thing. I want to go and meet these specific people. At least get an idea of what is required, the deadlines, the due dates, the small steps, the people required, and the roles and ownership. At least get an idea of that. Spend the time to actually get to that conclusion. What Alex Hormozi also said, which is a really, really useful concept for people that are building tremendous systems, is guys, the issue with being a leader is sometimes you have so many good ideas that if you don't realize these ideas can destroy things, you're going to end up destroying things. Meaning, you have a lot of good ideas. They can work. There's just a time and a place to implement them. So Hormozi does this phenomenal thing, which I'm totally stealing, which is when he has an idea, he flushes it out completely, like to all of the things that I just said and probably 10,000 steps below. Now, why does he do that? To get it off his brain. Does he implement it immediately? No, he puts it aside into an operations document. And he says, when the time comes and I have things that I want to work on, great, let me go and grab this thing, but I'm not going to go and break my entire system and my entire momentum to go and implement this thing that's not going to work or might work. Really, it's risky. Audit recurring roadblocks weekly and add name and invisible forces. What keeps repeating daily, weekly, monthly that I'm doing? Why? Why does it repeat daily, monthly? Because I am not taking the time to solve the damn thing. What do you keep solving manually instead of structurally? What can AI and technology do for you today that you are unwilling to spend the time to take a look at? What are you not acknowledging yet? Friends are really good at telling you these things when you ask them the hard question. What is something that I should know about myself that you are hiding from me, that I might not want to hear? So you can stop coming across the same roadblocks every day, every month, every week. For God's sake, doesn't that sound terrible to you? I hope it does, because that's what the vast majority of human beings are going through. And I look at these things and I say to myself, my goodness, I probably have a problem. Lead yourself with the same urgency you demand from the world. Call out your own lack of strategy, your own lack of wisdom, your own lack of humility in real time. Be honest with yourself. Be an honest reflection of yourself. Improve incrementally until you can teach it honestly. We must be great leaders to ourselves first, guys. Me leadership, then we leadership. Then you deserve the opportunity to be a we leader. At this point, you might be thinking, is the point to become a machine? It's not. The point really is to become the kind of leader who can detach so clearly to build something that others can see so clearly that it can be carried out without them. That we are a drop in the ocean. That at the end of the day, we will be gone one day. And that this thing that we're building deserves to live without us. And the people that require it for their well-being deserve to have that with or without us. Your focus is a gift, guys. Deep concentration and future sight does not go with focus necessarily. You need to have perspective to avoid getting trapped. You need to train both muscles. That balance is how you build a larger ecosystem that serves people beyond you, that serves your community, that serves your friends, all the stuff. That is the sight that this approach will get you. So good luck, and actualize your potential catalyst, because this world needs you. Peace.